Hello, friends, and welcome to Pathologic Volume 7, Episode 5. After our brief run with variant puzzles over the past few days, I am ready for something a little bit more mainstream, and we're going to get that today with a supersized version of a puzzle type that we've seen in the past. It is a square jam. If you haven't seen Square Jam before, be sure to look up my previous video on this topic so that you can see a smaller version of it. Watch my solve that, solve it yourself if you like, and get ready for today's larger version. So, we are going to help out anyone who just needs a refresher, first of all, by taking a look at the rules. In a Square Jam puzzle, we will divide the grid into square regions of orthogonally connected cells. The orthogonally connected part is a little bit redundant when we're just saying we're dividing something into square regions. A number indicates the side length of the square it's in. So this 2 means it's inside a 2x2 square. These 3s are both inside a 3x3 square, and there are many squares with no numbers in them whatsoever. So that's reinforcing that this isn't one of those puzzles where a clue corresponds exactly to one region. We can have regions with multiple clues or with no clues. And region borders may not form any four-way intersections. So as soon as we have any of these points in the grid that have 3 edges touching them, they will not have a 4th edge. Those are all of the rules of Square Jam, so it's time to solve a puzzle. Today's supersized Square Jam puzzle was set by Eric Fox. We have some clues on the borders of the grid, and I recall from our previous solve of Square Jam that those are important ones to look at. First off, 1s are given, so let's just go ahead and mark off all of our 1s as 1x1 squares. That's an easy way for us to start. Once we're done with that, we can look at the other cells that are bordering the edge of the grid and know that they at least grow that far away from the edge of the grid. So this 2 has to come out here, but we don't know which direction it goes. Same thing with this one. This 5 has to stretch all the way out here, and then in one or both directions. The 2 will come out this far. And as I was going through those, the 5 in particular, I think, is completely defined, because if we stretch it as far as possible, we'd get to here before we hit these 1 clues, and it would have to stop. And to the east, we would hit this 3 clue. So if we go as far as we can in both directions, we only barely get the 5x5 that we require. That puts this 3 against an edge, which means that grows at least this far. And if it were to not to go south, even if it were to go south as far as it could, it still has to stretch at least this far up. But that doesn't tell us whether it goes up or down from there, just that it goes that far. I do also see, though, that gives us another border on another 3 clue. So that is going to have the same constraints. Okay, so the next thing I want to look at are these corners, because all 4 of them, I see, have something in common. They have a little dead end, and that can't grow in any direction at all, so that's going to close those off as 1x1s. And in fact, we've got another one right here. We've got to do that too. And even these little tunnels are cells that can't grow in any direction, because they can't grow left and right, and therefore they're no more than 1 high either. So that is closed off, and this one is closed off. There are several places we could go from here, I believe, but the first thing, the most obvious thing, is to make sure that we follow the 4-way intersection rule in places where that has become a problem. So these 2 cells can't be divided, because that would give us a 4-way intersection. The same is going to go here. Both sides of this domino will have that property. Here we've got one, and over here to the south of this and above that. Those all have Those are all not lines. And because they're not lines, that's going to give us the entirety. Like this is too wide, so it's also got to be too high. So this is half high, half tall. Too wide, too tall. So that is a 2x2. And so we're going to end up with a 2x2 here as well. And that gives us this 2 against a wall, so it's got to grow that way. And go left or right, don't know yet. This has to become a 2x2 like that, so we can put those walls in, which gives us another place to avoid an intersection, and therefore expands a bit. And it can't expand any further than that because then it would hit this 2 clue and would have something larger than a 2. So that is in fact done. Defining the rest of this 2 as this 2x2. Giving us another edge where we need to not have a wall. And so that's got to grow to be at least as wide as it is tall. And it's going to hit this 2 clue, so it is done. Giving us a dead end here to finish up. And another place where we can't have a wall to avoid the 4-way intersection, which completes this 2 clue as another 2x2 there. We can mark in this dead end becomes a 1x1. This dead end becomes a 1x1. And here we can't have an edge or we'd have a 4-way intersection. And that's got to get wider, this time hitting a 3 clue. So it's got to extend to be at least 3x3. And we know exactly where that's going to be. It's going to be that one. So we can finish that off. We get another place to avoid a 4-way intersection, which has got to grow. Could grow larger, we don't know yet. This one needs to grow to be at least this big. That could be it. This needs to grow. So one of these is actually going to grow further and join this 3, but I don't think we have the information to know which one. This has got to expand and can't get any bigger because it would hit this 2 clue, so that one's done, which also finishes off the 2 clue and gives us 2 more places over here to mark to avoid a 4-way intersection. Those both have to get larger. This one has to be done because it's now blocked on the west side. That's completely done, giving us 2 places up here to avoid 4-way intersections, and that has made this grow larger to at least a 3x3. And because of this clue, exactly a 3x3. So that's done. This has got to grow at least to a 2x2. If it got any bigger, it hit this 2, and that would be illegal. So this is also done. Avoid a 4-way intersection here. And this has a wall to the south, so it's got to grow at least that tall, or exactly that tall, but one to the east or to the west. This 2x2 is complete. We can't put a border here because of a 4-way intersection, and that's got to grow. And it can't grow larger because of the 2 here, so that is a 2x2. We know what happens there. This 2x2 has to go west now. Here we've got a corner that needs a dead end that needs to be closed off. It's a 1x1. Here we can't draw a border because it would make a 4-way intersection, and that's got to grow, and we'll hit this 2 clue and be done. Got another 1x1 here, a couple more places where we have to avoid 4-way intersections, and those have to grow. Let's see, scanning on down. This corner has some more stuff we can do. This 3x3 is done. We know the extent of it, so we can draw that in. This one also, we know it goes this far, and it's got to be at least 3x3, or exactly 3x3, because it's got a 3 in it. So it goes this big, and that bounds this 3 clue to be these 9 cells as the 3x3. So that's done. Here we've got a dead end that is going to be a 1x1, giving us 2 more places where we can't have lines because of making 4-way intersections. And since that joins up with here, that means this whole thing needs to be part of at least a 4x4 region. It can't grow to the south because of this wall right there. Oops. And that closes that off. And on the west side, it can't grow because of this 2 clue. So it's exactly 4 wide. So that's done. Telling us what happens to this one. This is a 2 by 2, which is done. This region also can't grow because of this line. So that is also done as a 2 by 2. And we've got to split this domino up to make them both squares. We have this 2 up against a wall. It needs to go to the west and stop there. We have a place to avoid a 4-way intersection right there, and that's got to grow out to be at least as tall as it is wide, or the same height as width. I keep saying that, but can't grow any further because it would hit this 2. So that's actually done. This 2 must be done. We've got a couple places where we have dead ends, so we've got to mark those. And in so doing, we gave ourselves other opportunities for 4-way intersections. So we've got a quash. So those go like that. And that tells us how this final 2 by 2 goes. And all that's left is to take this final domino and split it up into squares. And that is how you solve a supersized square jam.